Hello again, Sean Stewart, mortgage broker. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. This week's video is going to be on lines of credit. And you might be wondering what is a line of credit and how you can best utilize this tool. Or you might have a very specific idea in mind, but you're not quite sure if you can use a line of credit for this idea or if a line of credit is really the best tool that you should be using for your idea. Okay? And so the first thing is, what is a line of credit? And a line of credit is a pre-approved fixed amount of money that is secured against the property that you own, and you can withdraw money or you can repay that money at any time. Okay? And so this is considered to be an open product, which really means that you can withdraw or repay any portion or the full amount at any time without incurring a penalty. Right? And so compare this to a traditional mortgage where if you try to repay the entire mortgage, you're going to incur some kind of penalty to get out of that contract. With open-ended products like a line of credit, there is no penalty, right? And so, with this kind of privilege that you get with an open product, it's a slightly higher interest rate compared to a fixed closed mortgage, but it's still very much a product that just has wonderful applications and so many possibilities. The minimum obligation on a payment of a line of credit is just the interest only that is occurred for that month. Okay, and so keep in mind that you're not obligated to make any kind of principal payments against this tool. You're only obligated to pay the interest that's accrued on this tool. So before you get into a line of credit or before you start utilizing that line of credit, you want to have some ideas of how you're going to be repaying that loan amount. Okay, and so let's get into what are the 7 reasons that sort of I've seen clients that have come to me looking for financing solutions. I put this list together of some of the ingenious ideas that I've been able to help clients, probably just like you, utilize that line of credit. Okay, and so the first idea really is more of a sort of a simple kind of concept in terms of sort of what if, right? You sort of the emergency fund. It would be nice just to have that sort of ability to withdraw money at any time for anything that comes up in life, right? And there's actually some really nice mortgage tools out there that actually really sort of combine a mortgage and a line of credit. So even though if you're not really ready for a line of credit right now, as you make your payments on this mortgage, your line of credit keeps going up. Right? So as you're paying down your mortgage, your line of credit is going up. So within 2, 3, 5 years, you might have $50,000 or $100,000 line of credit at your disposal that really didn't cost you anything. And it's really sort of nice to kind of think about that up front, sort of as a strategy before you really get into your next mortgage, okay? The second reason to get into a line of credit really is sort of some of the concept of how do you leverage the equity in your house, right? And how do you start building some of that wealth, okay? And so a lot of my clients have really taken a line of credit on their principal residence and use that money as a down payment for another property, either a second home or a cottage or an investment property, right? That's a very clever kind of tool to utilize the equity in your house, and it also gives you that flexibility that you can pay it off at any time, right, without that penalty. The third idea kind of leverages off this idea of intelligent debt, but it goes a little riskier. It goes a little further into take that money, take that line of credit, and can you invest it in products other than property that gives you a higher rate of return than what it's costing you for that financing that you've taken on that line of credit. There are products out there, there are investment products out there that will give you higher rates of return, but with anything, a higher rate of return comes a higher level of risk. And so it might not be for everybody, but it's certainly a strategy and a tool that I've used to help unlock that equity in people's houses and gives them a positive cash flow as well. Okay. The fourth idea is really sort of what are your personal needs around the house, right? Very common line of credit. Do you have a big expense that you want to add a new deck to your house? Do you want to change the windows in your house? Is it time to remodel the kitchen? Line of credit is a perfect tool for that. Gives you that flexibility to pay it off at any time. The fourth one is really sort of another open-ended product like a credit card credit cards tend to have very high interest rates, right? And so, here's a line of credit, which is also an open-ended product, but at a much, much lower interest rate. So if you're carrying a lot of credit card debt, it makes a lot of sense just to get that line of credit, transfer that debt balance over to a line of credit, pay off those credit cards and really save yourself a lot of money in interest rates. Okay. The last two really are focused on the self-employed, okay? So if you're a business owner and you're wondering sort of how can I leverage a line of credit, many clients have come to me, and some of them come to me looking to purchase some kind of capital asset for their business, right? Large piece of equipment, maybe large materials or sort of products that they need to really grow their business and help expand it. A line of credit, again, because it's secured to a property, it's a fairly low risk, which means it's a fairly low interest rate that you're going to expect, and it's a great way to finance your business and finance expanding that business at a much lower cost of financing. So that's certainly something that has helped a lot of self-employed people really grow their business. And the last one, again, for self-employed people is cash flow. Okay, I've been a business owner. I've owned many different businesses, and one of the problems with businesses, you might have a lot of receivables, right? You may have done the sales and you might have done the jobs, but you're waiting to get paid. But you've still got this obligation over here of payroll or some fixed asset or fixed cost that you've got to pay off. And a line of credit really helps you sort of manage that timing of when you receive those receivables and your debt obligation or your payroll or fixed cost obligations, right? So a line of credit really helps manage that cash flow. It also works really well if you're a seasonal type of business where you're very strong in some months and other months it's very light. A line of credit really gives you that flexibility, that open-endedness to sort of withdraw when you need it and pay it off when times are good. Okay, so those are the 7 reasons that I put together. Those are the sort of 7 most common reasons I've helped other people get lines of credit. Hopefully that's helped. Hopefully that's given you some information and some ideas of how you might be able to leverage that equity in your house and utilize that line of credit. By all means, I would love to talk with you. I'd love to get to know you and help you with your financing needs. You can always give me a call. You can send me an email, or you can always go to my website and book an online appointment, a phone call with me, and I will be very happy to get you the absolute best mortgage solution that the industry has to offer you. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.